You know, for most of us, the open road, it's all about freedom, right? But imagine if that was your office. For a long haul trucker, it is. It's a lonely, isolated place where the days just kind of melt together, and your only real company is the white line on the asphalt. And that unique kind of emptiness, well, it can be the perfect stage for some truly terrifying encounters. And that's really the heart of it, isn't it? The psychological weight of the job, the sheer exhaustion, the solitude. It puts you on edge. It's the perfect backdrop for something strange or something horrifying to happen. So today, we're going to look at 3 true stories from truckers who found out firsthand what's lurking in that isolation. All right, first up, we are headed to the Mojave Desert. Picture this. It's an overnight haul, so it is pitch black in every single direction. Our trucker is a veteran, just trying to make his time, when he stumbles upon something that just makes absolutely no sense. He has to slam on his brakes, and his huge semi screeches to a halt just feet away from this car. And what's kind of funny is his first reaction isn't fear, it's curiosity. He's thinking, okay, somebody probably needs a jump or they're out of gas. The car's just stopped, right on the double yellow line, door hanging open, hazard lights just blinking into the darkness. So he gets out to check on things, and with every step he takes, the whole scene gets weirder and weirder. The car is completely empty, but the key, it's still in the ignition. He goes around to the back and tries the trunk, but it's jammed. It won't open. Turns out it's jammed from the inside. He has to force his way through the back seat, and that's when he sees it's tied shut with a rope. And inside, 3 really heavy, squished garbage bags. And that's when the unease really starts to set in. He's literally inches away from one of those bags when, boom, a gunshot just rips through the desert silence. He's so startled he slams his head on the car's roof. And in that 1 second, all that curiosity vanishes. It's replaced by pure, uncut terror. He scrambles, trying to get back to his rig, as he hears a voice yelling from somewhere out in the dark, and it's getting closer. And as our trucker is peeling away, he finally sees the guy. He's short, kind of husky, holding a little shovel and an old hunting rifle. But here's the absolute weirdest part. The look on the guy's face. It isn't angry, it's not crazy, it looks worried. The man drops his shovel and starts waving his hands, yelling, "Wait!" Yeah, our trucker is not waiting around to find out why. He puts the pedal to the floor, just trying to get as far away from that scene as possible. And for a minute, maybe 2, he thinks he's in the clear. And then he sees it. In his rearview mirror. Headlights. And they are closing in on him. Fast. Oh yeah, it's the red Ford Fusion. The car is glued to his bumper, and the horn is just blaring non-stop through the empty desert. I mean, can you imagine? Being chased by this guy, it's more terrifying than anything he's ever experienced. He's on the phone with 911, just praying they can get there in time. Then the chase gets even crazier. The man actually pulls in front of this massive semi-truck and just slams on his brakes, trying to force him to stop. A crash seems inevitable. But then, right at that moment, he sees them, flashing police lights on the horizon. And the instant they appear, the Ford Fusion swerves off the road and just guns it, disappearing into the pitch-black desert. Okay, so from the wide-open desert, our next story takes us to a different kind of terror, the kind you find when your personal space has been invaded. This one happened to a brand new trucker, only 3 months on the job. All he wanted was an energy drink to get him through the night. So he pulls up to this convenience store, and he expects it to either be open or locked up tight. But instead, the front door just swings open into total darkness. As his eyes adjust, he sees this faint glow from a back room. He goes in and finds a refrigerator that's been plugged in, but completely gutted, all the shelves ripped out. Nothing else. As he's leaving, he hears a clatter from the main room. His gut tells him something is just not right here. He goes to another store, gets his drink, and gets back in his truck. But as he's pulling away, he looks back and sees the door to that abandoned store is wide open again, even though he knows for a fact he pulled it shut. He tries to just ignore it, but about a half hour down the road, he sees something impossible in his peripheral vision. The curtain, behind his seat, the one that separates the cab from the sleeper berth, it's moving. It's billowing out, like someone is back there. He drives, absolutely terrified, for what he says was the longest 20 minutes of his entire life, to get to the nearest police station. He runs inside, screaming for help, and officers immediately surround his truck. When they open up the back, they pull out 3 people, dressed in rags, wrapped up in filthy blankets, and they refuse to say a single word. They just stare, with pure menace, at the trucker as they're put in cuffs. Oh, and one of the men? He was carrying 2 switchblades. Now our last story. This one might be the most psychologically disturbing of them all. It's about a trucker pushing himself right to the edge, fighting off sleep on a lonely, dark highway. And that kind of vulnerability, well, it makes you the perfect target for a trap. It starts small. First, he sees a purple dress just lying in the middle of the road. He thinks he's so tired he's starting to see things. But then, a couple hundred yards later, there's a pair of shoes. And then a little further up, a whole pile of children's clothing. He finally stops the truck, his heart just hammering in his chest. And that's when he hears it, a child's scream, coming from the deep, dark woods right beside the road. He gets out to look at the clothes, constantly checking over his shoulder. He hears a twig snap in the woods to his left, then another one to his right. He's definitely being watched. Just as he sprints back to the safety of his truck, the child screams again. And he's frozen. Is there a kid who needs help, or is this an elaborate trap? He makes a split-second choice. He jumps in the cab, turns on the truck, and aims his super powerful headlights right into the spot where the scream came from. And what he sees, well, it's the real horror. He sees 3, maybe 4 people diving behind trees, and one of them is holding a massive speaker. It was all a fake, a cold, calculated trap to lure him out of his truck and deep into those woods. Now, in all 3 of these stories, the truckers got away. They survived. But the horror, it doesn't really end there. Because the real terror, the thing that sticks with you, lies in all the questions that will never, ever be answered. So we're just left to wonder, right? What was in those bags in the Mojave? Why was that man so desperate to get the trucker to stop? And the stowaways, what did they want? What were they planning to do with those knives? And maybe the most chilling one of all, what would have happened to that exhausted trucker if he had actually run into the woods to save a child that was never there? The not knowing is its own special kind of terror. The terror isn't just in what these truckers saw, but in all the horrifying possibilities of what they didn't see. It's a pretty stark reminder that on those long, lonely highways, there are stories playing out just beyond the beam of your headlights. And honestly, some of them are probably better left untold.